Hello, everybody. Welcome back to with me now. 3, 2, rest.
What? The rest
stop,
is
rest.
okay.
Okay.
That was
Today
quick.
we're here with our very special guest, Burtu. Introduce yourself.
Oh, hi, I'm Burtu.
Okay. Time. 11.75 seconds. Whew,
Okay.
nice.
Record?
UPB.
Wait.
Okay. You want to properly introduce yourself now?
Wait. Okay. Wait,
Okay,
Louis. Do you want to quickly explain what just happened?
Speech.
True.
Doing podcast introduction any percent.
Okay. Um. Okay.
You're gonna say that's the lead.
But Bertie, let's introduce ourselves.
But you
Um,
don't need to introduce yourself, Ibrahim.
Sorry.
Burtu does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Burtu. I'm gonna be talking about like the biology behind like supernatural creatures. I don't know if you call them creatures or not, but that's beside the point.
Beings would be my go-to word, but we call them creatures.
It's all the same. I mean, I guess that sounds bad actually. I shouldn't be saying that.
Wait, no, you've said what you're going to say. Now Ibrahim can't ask you what you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh.
We do.
Well, let's assume Bertie didn't say that. So Bertie, what are you going to talk to us about today?
Burtu, what were you talking about?
So this is going to be new information to you guys, but I'm gonna be talking about the biology behind the supernatural beings.
Ooh, that's so exciting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know,
I
right?
hadn't thought about that before actually.
So let's get started with that then. So any particular supernatural beings in mind?
Yeah, because supernatural beings is quite broad.
True.
Yeah.
I did a bit of research on like a varied amount. I will say I didn't really look into more of the biblical ones, so like demons, angels, all of that kind of
Yeah.
thing. I did look into the relatively like common law. So you've got your ghosts, your werewolves, your vampires, your zombies.
Okay.
Very very common ones. We can start with whichever one you guys want to start with. Like
Actually, wait, I have a
quickly-
question. I have a question about werewolves actually, and this actually sort of annoys me a little bit, which is,
Okay.
so werewolves they become like wolves when they see a full moon, right? When there's like enough moonlight for it to like trigger. So
Yeah.
let's think this through, okay? Because the moon doesn't produce light, does it? It reflects the sunlight. So what about during
Yes.
daytime where they're absolutely bathed in moon/sunlight? Like surely,
Okay, I think I might be able to answer this one. Just a thought. Wait, hold on, it's echoing again.
Oh, that might be me.
Okay. Well, it's gone now. I don't know. I don't know where it's coming and going. Anyway, just a thought. What if it's like the reflection itself which is causing it? So like the type of rock. There's like how the moon is made of cheese? It's like
Yeah.
if they can see that type
Ooh.
of cheese, then
oh,
Then
got you,
it's-
got you.
Right.
but, like,
Okay.
it has
That's
to
a
be like
stretch.
really bright.
What I was thinking was, this is off assumptions. I will say I have no physics background, so I don't know anything about moonlight versus sunlight, despite the fact that they are probably the same. Um, I was thinking, okay, now follow with me here. You know, when the sun's out, right, the sky's blue, like a bright blue, or sometimes grey in England.
Yeah.
But when the
Blue or
moon's
grey.
out, the sky's dark. So that means that the percentage of light that you get, like the proteins, it won't be as high as it is during daylight because of like the blue sky thingamajig. I assume that has like some form of light in it because the blue sky is from the sunlight, right? Compared to the moonlight, it's only being reflected off the moon itself, whereas the sun's light during daytime, it's like permeating everywhere. That's the way I think about it. Note my physics knowledge is exceedingly limited, but
My thinking with that, but wouldn't that be like, because at night it's dark and then day it's bright and then full moon it's like slightly brighter than a new moon, for example.
Yeah.
So surely there'd be like a point in time in the sunset at which werewolves just come out and then just go again, if that's
Yeah.
the case.
that's a good question. I feel like
I think-
sunset is an interesting problem because sunset, not like everywhere doesn't get the same amount of like sun at sunset because obviously some parts will be covered, especially because the sun's gone down like a little bit, yeah. Compared to full moon, I assume like the full moon comes, it's like at the height of its peak in the sky. It kind of like impacts like everywhere, if
Well,
that makes
the
sense,
moon-
in that area.
I think Louis' original idea was probably right in that because the moon doesn't reflect all of the light that hits it, right? It'll absorb some wavelengths more than others. So it's probably like
Hmm.
the spectrum of the light that comes from the moon. That's probably what triggers it.
So
Maybe,
you
maybe
know
because
an
there are
inter
proteins that can do that.
sorry. So you know an interpretation of werewolves that bothers me.
Hmm.
I'm
Okay.
gonna do a minor spoiler warning, and if you click off this podcast episode because of this spoiler warning, what are you doing with your life? Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. In the film, so Remus Lupin obviously is a werewolf, and he turns into one after the moon comes out from behind a cloud. So the light level is exactly the same, but because the moon was behind a cloud, it wasn't triggering him to become a werewolf. I didn't like that.
True, I think that's a bit ridiculous because it seems that say you live in England on a cloudy day, you could just live in the world's cloudiest place and you
Everyone's
just
just a
never turn
werewolf.
into a werewolf.
Yeah, well, everyone could be a werewolf, and we have no idea because we never see the sky.
Well, I guess that also fits into the wavelength thing and the spectrum thing, though, right? Because then instead of it just being a spectrum from the moon, it's going through the cloud as well, which would change it.
But then like if I hide under a blanket, am I safe? Because if a werewolf tries to eat me, I
Yeah,
have to go under the blanket.
yeah. You need direct line of sight with the moon, I think.
Yeah, but like with your skin, otherwise you could just close your eyes and be fine.
Yeah.
Again, skin is an interesting topic because the way I thought about werewolves and their transformation is assuming that we're all fine with the idea that werewolves are like lupinism, lycanthropy. There we go. That's the word. Lycanthropy is transmitted via like biting, right? The way I thought about it was like, oh, the bite of the werewolf, like it has, of course, like hormones or like bacteria within the bite that can like activate a potential gene within humans. So this is off the implication that every human has the potential to become a werewolf, right? Because in the law, logistically, there is no like you can't be immune from becoming a werewolf.
Okay.
So um say that everyone has this gene to potentially be a werewolf, it's just being suppressed or like it's in a non-coding part of the DNA, so it won't ever be expressed because it's simply in the non-coding part. But if you're bitten by like a werewolf, right, then it could like activate the gene, which is possible because a lot of hormones and other proteins can activate genes that are like hidden, which is a cause of some diseases and like autoimmune things, I think. But I think that the hormones within the saliva can activate the gene and cause it to be coded so that, like, you know, it expresses the gene such that, and this is where it gets kind of like murky, right? Because
Okay.
I was thinking it's sensitive to moonlight, but with the whole wavelength theory, um, I have a question, which is probably not the way this is meant to go, but my question would be, if it's dependent on wavelength, surely I can simulate, like, you know how you can have like red light filters and like green light filters and like
Yeah.
filters of sorts, right?
Yeah.
Surely you can like mix a bunch of filters just to make the constant werewolf.
I guess you
I
could.
think
I mean, if you have any light that's of the same spectrum as moonlight, then yeah, I guess that would work, right? I mean, under our theory.
would it
Mm.
be like a percentage exposure, or like maybe it's only the parts of the skin, like
Oh, that's a good point. Is it like a
yeah,
whole
no,
thing
it
at
would have to
once,
be
or?
percentage exposure because you would turn into a werewolf under your clothes as well. Wait, if does that
Hmm.
mean if you like just wrap up like really tightly
Like
because
completely
and it
cover
like
up?
blocks up, like completely cover up most of your body, um, or all of your body that just with clothes you just block don't become a werewolf.
I mean, if that was possible, I'm pretty sure, like, like you said in Harry Potter, Remus could have just genuinely hid under like a blanket for like the longest time.
Yeah.
That he would have never needed Wolfsbane, which is also confusing because if you think about how Remus he hid inside the Shrieking Shack, right? Um, it implies that since he was inside the Shrieking Shack, I'm pretty sure it had no windows. I'm kind of rusty on my Harry Potter knowledge, but if it had no windows, how would the moonlight have gotten in? How would he have transformed?
I think they
Yeah,
kept
because his
that
body would
secret.
have no way of knowing, would it?
They just
Exactly.
They stepped outside the Shrieking Shack, I think, and then
No,
it was
like
already
in during his Hogwarts days, not when he was a
oh
teacher.
during his Hogwarts like Marauders days. Yeah, I think he didn't he hide inside I don't know.
Yeah, this is why it's a bit confusing to think about. Oh, like if the moonlight hits the person's skin, then what? If we assume a werewolf transforms because of that, then it's more difficult. What I was thinking was because the body has like a, like a day night cycle, I think. I don't know what the word is. It's somewhere in my head, but we'll come back to it. If they've got like hormones like, melatonin and stuff that, let someone know, oh right, it's time to sleep, or it's like
Yeah.
of course your time to sleep doesn't always have to be nighttime, but majority of people's is, right? Then potentially the gene to cause transformation into a werewolf is connected to that, but then it also implies that someone who like works night shifts and is a werewolf becomes a werewolf during the daytime, which is also mad.
Also, if like a werewolf went on holiday, then like the jet lag would also
Gosh,
cause them to turn into a werewolf during the day.
true. Which is
I
then confusing.
I think would it be like a combination of the light and the melatonin, maybe?
Maybe. But then I feel like we shouldn't be linking it directly to melatonin because there are people who take like supplements and then imagine you're just a werewolf and you're just trying to get a nice night and like you just take like a gummy and then the next second you've got like you're on four legs and you've got like mad amounts of fur, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. I feel like there's more than one factor, of course, but I think the main one that I hope we can all agree with is the idea of like the gene, and then because logistically, if there's a gene that like codes for it, then that means that a lot of other things are possible. So there are like there are these things. There's these cells called osteoblasts and osteoclasts. I don't know, blast class. Okay, sorry. And these are responsible for like bone repair and changing like bones. So like if you go running or something, these are what figures out like, okay, we need to like increase bone density or like fix the bone a little bit, but like I think with werewolves, because you're changing like what for a month, 3 days in a month, because I think that's how long the full moon is. I'm not sure on that. um
Well, it depends how full you define as full, but yeah,
true, that is another question as well.
because it's like a
But okay,
gradual thing. It's not like one instantaneously goes to another.
true. I think, I don't know, would you guys count a full moon as what, 95% and above, like of like fullness, if that's a word?
I'd merely just count it as the night when the moon is most full within the month. So like just that one night.
But
Okay, cool.
but if you're like on a if you hit somewhere between, like it's almost halfway, then are there two full moon nights?
As in a month being from new moon to new moon. Like in the cycle.
I
The
know, but
point at
in the
which
cycle, uh, if you don't get it exactly on the dot, because it's not a or it is a continuous spectrum rather.
yeah.
You're only going to get like a very small fraction of that spectrum each night.
Yeah.
But
So the
anyway,
night
so
of the full moon would be the night that's the closest to the point at which the moon is the most full.
but if you've got two nights which are equally close, do you have no full moon or two full moons?
Oh,
That's a good question, actually.
that is a very good question, actually.
I think this has gone too physical for me, bro. This is too physicsy.
Yeah, this
Guys are
isn't.
talking about
Okay,
You
moons.
said
because
wait.
of like
So
time zones and stuff, there's gonna be someone who's under the moon when it is full, and there's that day, and on that day around the world would be the full moon night, right? Except wait, that doesn't work because then what about international dateline? Oh, that's actually a lot of. Oh, I'll add it to the list.
it's just the moon. When is the moon full?
Yeah, I'll put moon
But
phases.
is ly is ly lycanth how do you
Lycanthropy.
lycanthropy is that not innate? You pass it on.
Sorry?
What do you mean?
You said earlier that werewolves tend to pass on through being bitten, but I thought werewolves just eat people, and vampires bite people to turn them into other vampires.
Wait, no,
And that's
vampires bite people to turn them into, well,
Oh
not other
wait, I
vampires.
swear
And zombies
I
bite people
thought
to
like
turn
I'm
people
confused
into
with
other zombies.
spread.
well, no. So zombies are an edge case because sometimes they bite people and turn you into another zombie. Sometimes you have to be dead to be a zombie.
True. Depends on what like law you like consult, I guess. The way I thought about it is, okay, this is again off Harry Potter universe, which is annoying because I probably should know more like in general folklore. But off Harry Potter universe, didn't like Fenrir Greyback like infect Remus Lupin via biting him?
Oh, you might be right.
I think he might have. I can't remember.
Yeah, see, this is the issue. I can't remember either. I might have assumed that, that they spread the disease via biting someone. Again, the question becomes, are you being bitten because you're like the next dinner, or are you being eaten because the werewolf's lonely? I think again that happens across like, again, like what's it called? Pack bonding and stuff like dog kind of biology, which is different to humans, if you couldn't tell. Because like I'm thinking werewolves, like similarly to dogs and like other canine animals, likely are pack animals or like group animals, right? So I'm thinking maybe the werewolf would instinctually also want like friends or like a pack, right? So then maybe their initial instinct would be to bite to form like a new werewolf rather than to like constantly eat and like eat human flesh, because I don't really know what werewolves eat, and I don't know about you guys, but
I think werewolves eat normal food, and
Yeah.
like for most of the time.
Like,
They,
while they're
they
human, they eat normal food, and while they're a werewolf, that's only for like the one night, so they don't really need to eat.
yeah,
true.
like they do eat people, I think, but usually sometimes they eat meat when they're a werewolf.
Well, we're about halfway through, so if we want to talk about, do you want to keep going on werewolves, or should we talk about something else?
We can talk about whatever. I mean, I've got. We can talk about vampires. That was an
Okay, let's
interesting
talk about
topic.
vampires.
You want to guide the conversation. That's how this works.
Oh,
Would you like
whoops.
to talk about vampires?
I mean, basically, what I was looking at, right, is how vampires are like. This is going off again, like a lot of pop culture, like media, right? So stuff like Twilight or like um Vampire Diaries, etc. It's very what's the word? Popularized and very not scandalous. Oh God, the word's not there. Whatever.
Well, my
Basically,
my main my main view of vampires comes from JoJo, so it's yeah,
oh, I didn't know they had vampires in JoJo. Wait, I didn't know that actually.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Is this spoiler
Um,
warning or is this just not?
No, I mean you find out by like episode 2, so I don't really think it
Okay.
qualifies as a spoiler.
I
Well, it's
could be
only
on
a
episode
spoiler if
one.
it's unexpected, like a plot twist.
Not really, no, it's not that unexpected.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool. So what's it called? Like, how vampires they have they like pass along their, not disease. I wouldn't say it's a disease because I feel like that's too rude. Their
Vampirism.
affliction. I don't know.
don't know.
Vampirism. That sounds close enough. Whatever. They do it via bite, right? Again, I think within
Yeah,
the
like
bite,
exchanging fluids, yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
think
again a venom thing.
with vampires, don't so they bite you and then you bite them. Wait, they drink your blood and then you drink their blood and then you become a vampire. I think.
I think so. The way I thought about it was because vampires bite to either drink, a human's blood, because they're hungry, or to turn another person into a vampire. I was thinking of the idea of like venom.
Wait, I
So,
think it spreads
um,
like, you know how like HIV spreads, where it's like if you come into
oh,
contact with someone's bodily fluids, then you get the. I feel like wouldn't it be the same for vampires as well, where if you come into contact with one of their bodily fluids, then you yourself become a vampire. So that includes like biting and exchanging blood and whatnot.
in what we do
Okay,
in the shadows, they had to drink your blood, and then you have to drink their blood.
Yeah, that would include that as well because you're exchanging fluids.
but I have a question. Surely, if a vampire bites from you, yeah, and they're just hungry and they just want to have your blood, so you give them your blood because it's like obviously they're biting you to drink your blood,
Yeah.
but surely the vampire also like saliva or like
Yeah,
whatever.
you get the vampire's saliva, which is one of the vampire's fluids, so you yourself become a vampire as well.
But then that implies that every single vampire victim just becomes a vampire, which is kind of difficult because then if all the vampires start like just wanting to drink a few human blood and then all of a sudden the whole bloody world's gone human, then what are you gonna do?
Oh,
No, I think my because then my way works, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I was thinking of because the way I thought about it was vampire venom, which is I think I would hope is different to the saliva. I would think that, if they're trying to turn someone, they would like, consciously use the venom, which is,
oh,
the
Okay.
vampire, like, I don't know, it's got like hormones in it. This is my own thoughts, right? And then when you're turning, you would have your sire's blood, which is, the vampire that turned you, you would have some of their blood so that both of you have like this I wouldn't say mother child connection, but like a sire and vampire connection, if that makes sense. It's
yeah,
quite similar to what I would think a mother baby connection would be because, like, you're dependent on your sire because like they changed you, right? And they also have some instinct to care for you as their youngling, their fledgling, whatever the word is, right? So that's what I was thinking. Like there would be, like Louis said, like a exchange of like blood or like venom or whatever the fluid is. But I wouldn't say it would happen during every single bite. I feel like it would have to be a conscious like effort to, excrete the venom. I don't know if
yeah.
excrete is the correct word. I don't
Unless
really like
it's
that.
unless you like kill them first, so they go straight for the jugular, and then that's how.
True, true. I mean, if you just die, well, I don't think a vampire
And
could
then you can't turn,
particularly.
yeah.
Um, one of the funniest things I think about vampires is the obsession with like people killing vampires by driving a stake to their heart, because it's like, yes, that kills vampires, but wouldn't that kill like most things as well?
Yeah.
Yes,
I
Like
don't think
if you
that
shot them
doesn't
in the
feel
head.
like it should be specific to vampires.
I mean, I think I could kill anyone with a stake through the heart. I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but I'm not sure. Like, genuinely, I'm not sure what animal would survive, the stake through the heart.
Squids, I think they have 3 hearts.
But surely, if they lose one, is that not like gonna send them into hypervolemic shock?
Ten-
That's
I
a
didn't
lot of
I
big
didn't know
words
enough
there,
about
Burtu.
biology.
Sorry, it's like your body goes into shock if you don't have like enough volume of blood pumping around, which happens when your heart like stops pumping, or like for example, one of your hearts has gone missing. Um, in the squid case, I don't know if shock is the same in squids or not. Don't know
I
about you,
I
but I'm
just
wondering
I'd
about that.
assume
Let me check.
I'm not a
Animals that
biologist,
can
so I don't
survive
know.
cardiac arrest. Oh, what about like a
But
jellyfish? They don't even have a heart.
Do they not?
No, jellyfish are just like I'm not even sure what jellyfish are. I'll add it to the list. But I'm pretty sure jellyfishes don't have hearts.
I don't know. When he says I'm adding it to the list, I don't know what he's referring to, by the way, boys.
Jellyfish. I'm adding jellyfish to the
It's
list.
jellyfish. Okay.
Okay. Animals that can survive.
So
Ooh.
I think it would be pretty pointless to give for squids to evolve to have squids or octopi. I think it's
Oh.
squids. For squids to evolve to have 3 hearts, if it just gives them 2 extra hitboxes in places where you can kill them.
Okay, I looked up
Reflection would
animals
have.
that can survive without a heart, and it just gave me a bunch of animals that don't have a heart to begin with.
Well, yeah, because you looked up animals that can survive without a heart. You
Oh,
need to see if they lose a heart.
that can survive if they lose a heart. That's smart.
Yeah, because a lot of
Survive.
animals, instead of having a heart, they have some different form of like system that provides like blood or whatever fluid that they need, I guess.
No, it still gives me animals that still don't have a heart.
Okay, well that's just
I don't
annoying
think
to
any.
know.
Yeah, I think best bet would probably be like you're right, like squids, because they have like a bunch of spares. Maybe
Yeah.
it's like you know how like people can survive with like just one kidney. Maybe it's like that, but with heart. You know?
Yes. So
what was I saying? Basically, also, you know the whole idea of vampires are like allergic. No, okay, not allergic. Sorry, they're like, oh, if they eat garlic, they'll die or something like that, right?
Oh yeah,
I
and
was
silver as
thinking
well, no?
that's caused by like an
that's
allergy,
what
maybe. So,
They're
okay,
all
maybe an
allergic to
allergy
garlic.
is like it sounds really like, oh, bro, surely they can just like get an EpiPen and just like be fine. I'm thinking like a proper like a severe allergy, like it just insta kills them basically.
Okay.
Like, because of course, would you count vampires as alive or dead? This is a good question, actually.
no, I would not.
Okay, wait. There's like the criteria to be alive, right? There was what to eat, to excrete, to reproduce, to there was a few others as well.
The question was, would you count vampires as alive or dead? And I would not count them as alive or dead.
Wait, no, there's like this checklist where it's like if it does these things, then it's probably alive.
Oh my
But
God,
does
are
it
you talking about
respire?
Mrs. Gren?
Wait, Bertie, you're the biologist. You tell me.
You're talking about Mrs. Gren. I'm 90% sure. Oh,
Yeah,
that's funny.
yeah. So do vampires fit all of those?
Listen,
Oh, I had a Mrs. No.
well, vampires do move. They hopefully respire, because otherwise, I'm not sure where you'd get the
Oh,
energy from to
wait.
move.
Other
Yeah,
Um,
they
people's blood.
do they respire or?
I
They
think
take the
so.
oxygen from other people. Trust.
No,
That's why they
but
drink blood.
would the oxygen in other people's blood be enough to supply someone else? Because surely that's like, because blood, of course, some of it's oxygenated, some of it's deoxygenated. So
Oh,
even
Wait,
if you
but
drink blood,
keep
you're
in
getting
mind
maybe
that
50%.
vampires have very low body temperature as well, like room temperature, body temperature, so they don't need to metabolize that
True.
much.
Our coffin's airtight.
I mean,
I would hope so. I think so. Some of them
if it's
are.
underground, then yeah, because the dirt would like stop all
Yeah,
the air coming
obviously, but
through.
vampires don't sleep underground, do they?
I mean,
Well,
if we look at it, I mean, vampires don't grow really. Like, they're trapped in time or
Oh
whatever it is
yeah,
because they're
because
immortal. So then, yeah, I wouldn't count them as alive. But again, dead is too much of a like certainty, if that makes sense. I kind of agree
yeah,
with Louis. Like, I think they're neither, which is annoying because now it's just like a 50-50. But regardless, I would hope that. Do you think they have an immune system then? Because my whole idea banks off the idea that they have an immune system,
I
low
assume they
key.
would. I mean, if they didn't have an immune
Yeah,
system, they would decompose, right?
maybe, but they're immortal, so then it's a good question.
nice.
Okay, let me actually speak. Sorry. So what I was saying was, I think like a garlic allergy is like probably the most likely cause for them to like be really like dead about it, because of course the immune system can mistakenly identify like proteins in garlic as like foreign like invaders or whatever. So then
Yeah.
obviously they'll attack it and you just die, right? Which is fun.
I
Um. Also, I was
S-
thinking of how do you go from eating like 3 meals a day to drinking blood and being just completely fine about it? Again, I think all of it has to do with the bite, okay? Think about it.
Okay.
You know how I was talking about like venom and like hormones and stuff? I feel like some of that can alter, what's in like the proteins in your own body as well. So instead of like, because when you eat food and when you have meals, like fullness hormones like peptide YY and like I don't know how to say this. Okay, guys, I need to have an applause after this one, right?
Okay.
Cystokinin. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Um, After drinking blood, I would hope that those fullness hormones are released instead of like after eating like a burger and chips, right? Because you know, the hormones during like your turning affect these hormones, and like they kind of have like a what's the word, antagonistic effect. I think that's the word, and I think they're mutated so that they're only released after drinking blood, which is interesting. And okay, I actually have a proper biological explanation for the red eyes. Okay, this is actually like my proudest work.
Okay.
Um, so like I think people often say, "Oh, vampires have red eyes or black eyes," right?
Yeah.
And this is majority because they like move around in the dark, so they need like their pupil to dilate a lot more so that they can gain all the light. They also can have something which is often seen in nocturnal animals, which is called a tapetum lucidum, forgive my pronunciation, which is an iridescent like a layer of tissue. Thank you, in the eye, which kind of reflects light onto the path again. So like you have light going into your retina like a bunch of times, so that you get a nice clear contrasted image. So then, but because it's iridescent, right? In different animals, it can have like different colors. So in tigers, this layer of tissue can have like a green color. So, assuming that vampires have this, maybe that's the reason why a lot of people see red eyes in vampires, because it's like the red light is reflected so that you just see the red, right? So
Yeah.
that's the whole idea of them being able to see in the dark, and also for them having red eyes, which I think is really cool. And I guess the black eyes comes from either, in dark like light, red looks close enough to black, and also because their pupils have to expand a lot more so that more light goes in so they can see better. Because, I mean, have you ever met a blind vampire?
I haven't met a vampire, but of the vampires I've heard of, I don't think any of them are blind. No.
Well, I would hope not.
Yeah.
That's a sad existence if you're blind.
So with that
You're a
note
blind
of
vampire, so
being blind for
Minecraft,
eternity being a not good thing, uh, we have a couple things we want to get out of the way before we finish up. First of all, Louis would like to do a quick sponsored segment.
Would I? Um. Okay. Shout out to Illuminati. I just want to say one more thing on the garlic thing. I saw a food theory episode from MatPat before he quit YouTube. Sad.
Yeah, don't
Which
do that. So sad.
I know. In which he described how vampires aren't actually allergic to garlic, and it's all just propaganda, which I thought was an interesting thought.
Oh,
Just leave you with that one.
That's a good thought.
What's the Illuminati? Hold on. Do we have anything else we need to say? Oh yeah, you guys. While I'm looking up what the Illuminati is, you guys can do a.
oh yeah. So Burtu. So normally our audience will typically skip to the end just to see what's going on.
Not our audience, just one guy.
Yeah, just the one guy.
can't
So for that one guy, who couldn't be asked to give away 30 minutes of his time to listen to something interesting, could you give us a quick summary, please?
Basically, vampires have red eyes because they need to see better, and because they have like tissue that makes it look red. Werewolves, they're cool. They have genes. Anyone can become a werewolf. Something about like hormones. Everything is to do with hormones. Biology is 90% hormones. It's more interesting if you listen to the full thing, but some people.
I didn't have any hormones on my biology GCSE. I did AQA. There's
So
nothing.
did I.
Wait, I
This
did,
is
and there were a bunch
concerning.
of
This is
hormones.
really concerning.
Wait,
Hormones was like a whole big topic, by the way. In,
I
like, early
buy
years.
so much for hormones. Nothing.
Oh, do you mean the real
Oh.
thing? I thought you meant
Oh.
in your actual like. I thought you meant in your course. Like,
Yeah.
You got taught.
No.
I was so
No. In the
concerned.
actual GCSE exam, I swear there was like one question on hormones max, and it was like
Yeah,
the most
same. I
random
don't know.
thing.
I
yeah.
don't remember GCSE. It was time ago.
I was just annoyed about that because I revised a lot for it and it just didn't come up. Yes.
So if no one else has anything else to say, then I think that's time.
We didn't finish
Yeah,
the.
thank you
Oh,
guys.
let's finish our sponsored segment before we finish.
No, I was referring to we didn't finish the catch up on the episode. We only got to werewolves.
Oh, Bertie
Oh,
did
no,
vampires
I
first and then
vaguely
werewolves.
I vaguely said vampires. Yeah.
Oh, you
don't
said
worry.
vampires. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Just a quick note for all the people who like Ibrahim who thought that vampires are allergic to silver. It's werewolves, guys.
Is it? Oh yes! Oh my god. Well, I think
Silver bullet.
if you get hit by silver bullets, well, yeah, I think you die.
I
It's-
swear that was
pure.
vampires.
It's
But-
pure, and werewolves are impure, so silver bullet kills them. I
That's
think.
quite rude, Louis. I wouldn't say werewolf is impure. That's quite a rude
Okay,
statement.
I'm gonna look up right now. Why does silver kill
Are you trying to say people who are furries are
bacteria,
also impure?
vampires, werewolves? Because it represents the spiritual and mystical purity.
What about gold?
Yeah, but that's also biblical.
What about gold? Gold is too expensive.
What about like aluminium or something? Like, what about if I just like make a tinfoil
Aluminium's
ball?
not pure.
Yeah, it is. I mean, okay, it depends on where the aluminium's
Yeah,
from,
but
but...
it's
Go
not like
Purity. You
biblically
can just talk
pure.
about holy water.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, holy water is vampire. It's not biblically pure. and but silver is, and gold also is, but what's it? There was that one spice. Vanilla is more expensive than silver, but less expensive than gold. So we yeah, vanilla bullets. Okay,
Well, that's time then.
yeah. So you
Thank you,
guys,
guys.
we
Yeah,
can
Lou, we
outro.
really need to find an outro at some point.
Okay, we will look for an outro, guys. Don't you worry. Um.
Yes.
Yeah. Bye.